Wake up! Charlie,
Wake up, Kevin.
wake up!
Clean
Get up!
Clean up your room.
Get up right now. I'll dump this cup of cold water on your face.
Charlie, listen to your mother.
Wake up! It's time to get up.
Come on, you're not awake. Wake up.
Wake up!
What? What did I tell you? Wake up!
Listen to your father. He knows best.
Wake up, Charlie.
Wake up! Charlie, get up!
Wake up! Charlie, I'm talking to you.
Don't make me pull the blankets away. Get up
Oh,
right
no,
now.
don't do that. Come on, that's not cool. Don't do that.
Look at how lazy he looks.
Well, he's getting up. There you go, he's up.
Alarm call. Wake up your Space Marines. That's the name of this game. Gotta send your librarian. Send him to the front. He's badass in both melee and ranged combat. So in the front he'll do what he needs to do. And you can hold him off at range. At this point in the game, I don't really have a plan. That is why I end up moving my flamer in kind of a weird way. But I didn't know what he was going to do at the end of the turn. And I don't know what I'm doing with my Space Marines. So this is not a good way to start out a match. But I think generally, if I can get my lightning claws down south, he can maybe hold the tunnel off and get my librarian in a good position on the right to move through, sweep through those Space Marines, wake them up, and have the flamethrower guard the back and use his ammo. I think that's my plan at this point, and that's all subject to change as the enemy slowly kills my dudes. This librarian, I tell you what he's going to do. He's going to give that there sergeant what I call the kiss of death. And that's when you wake someone up, and the moment they're awake on the genestealer's turn, they'll be attacked by genestealers. That's called the kiss of fire. And here's keeping with the theme. We'll throw down another kiss of fire down the back and roast some turkeys. I'm okay with that.
Clear a path. Clear a path. Targets.
Here are the targets. They come and bring me some target wares. Target wares for my sergeant. He says I gotta go shop at Target. Sorry, see you guys later. This librarian, as I said before, you just shoot and move, shoot and move. He's not afraid of getting in melee. It's really not a bad strategy to put him in melee, especially in this tight quarter. I gotta move fast. I can't have him dick around. You see this here flamer? He's got guys who are gonna come in and bite him that turn if he doesn't move. But he's gonna do the old turnaround move. He's not gonna fire now. He's just gonna go down and run, so that next turn he'll pivot and take a shot.
Moving to target.
Now, probably would have been faster if he just moved back
I
twice.
shall hold.
But that's a mistake I made, and I don't remember if it cost me too much.
For the wolf time.
As I said, librarian, he just moves. So he goes forward, takes the shot. Luckily it works out. Gonna have some genies running down me, so he'll go into Overwatch.
Holding.
The lightning claw on guard mode has around 83% chance of victory. And sometimes you lose, because that's how it goes. And that, you know, I believe other people have run into this situation where your lightning claw dies in the first melee instance, and that throws a big dent in your plans. And I think it nearly is going to end up costing me.
The foe is before me.
Cost me or not, the foe is before me, as my Terminator reminded me. And so there's only 2 dudes left, but they have some amount of faith in whoever they believe in, who's up there. It's working for them to have that faith. And luckily, you know, he's got this other ability, lightning storm, I think it's called, or hurricane, blundering hurricane. I don't know, but if it doesn't kill the genestealer, it stuns it, and it's 50-50 chance of either or. And so you can use it for one more command point or one more action point than the Blood Angels energy force barrier thing. You can use that to the same effect using genestealers as temporary energy force barriers if they're not killed. So that's another thing to worry about. And speaking of killing, I always love the flamer animation. I'll never get sick of it. It always looks really, really good. Sometimes the genestealers do that on this map. They break doors and run into rooms that normally they wouldn't run into. And I think it's some AI issue with the unconscious Space Marines. But it, you know, I don't think it's breaking. It kind of adds a different gameplay element to it than normal.
Initiating attack.
Didn't really think of a plan for this Terminator here, how to move him with the team this turn. So what I do is I put him on Overwatch, but I didn't really think, what is the librarian going to do? I kind of just figured he was going to run down that tunnel, but then I changed my mind on it, and I wanted him to help with the situation north. So sometimes that's why it's a good idea not to just slap your guys in Overwatch. That's something you can always do at the end of your turn.
Let them come.
You see, I slap this guy in Overwatch too, but then I don't switch and I undo. And one thing you don't want to do is put your librarian on Overwatch and then cast a psychic power, because that will take him out of Overwatch. And clearly that just wastes 2 action points. But in this case, I didn't waste those action points. I cast the ability to protect the flamer, and he'll shoot off another gout of flame because they're at a good intersection, and what that'll mean is he'll have more space to make a run and reposition before the aliens coming down that north area really can do anything. So he's thinking, I'm going to take care of that genestealer next turn. Again, I go back to saying move and shoot, move and shoot, move and shoot. That's the librarian's way of doing these things.
Prepare yourself.
I saw that I was going to use up all the command points on him, move and shoot, get in guard mode. Now you might say that's stupid to do with the librarian. Sure, he's a badass in melee, but he stays alive some of the time by using his psi-points, and you you know, psi management is important. You don't want to run through all your psi points and quick. Certainly, in melee, it's very possible to lose half of them in one turn.
Targets.
That being said, I got lucky there, and I didn't use any psi points, and I was rewarded for the risk because now my librarian is 2 squares further towards where I want him to go. What the dice gods giveth, they can taketh awayeth. Take it away because I waste action points on this little fingal breaker here.
Death demands vengeance.
Probably would have been better off shooting him, because then he would have been dead. On Overwatch, that is. Doesn't always work out. You can see what I'm doing here is I'm measuring out the space he has so I can move him back 2 squares and take a shot. That way the genestealer, who isn't right in his face in case I miss him here, he can't hit me immediately. He's still got to run 1 more flame square. And I think that was worth it to move him back. Certainly the flamer will be safe next, or safe on the alien's turn. They won't be able to get him.
Not pass.
And for all that it paid off last turn, on their turn, it doesn't pay off
I
for
stand
the
my
Space Marines on
ground.
the right side this turn. Now that it's their turn, it'll be my turn to kill them in melee. Oh, hope we got the turn straightened out.
Cleanse the monstrosity.
It's looking dark. Again, moving fire. That's how the librarian does it. But we're down to 3 Marines, surrounded on all sides by genestealers who are right up in our faces now. However, we still have the librarian and the flamer, who are, as long as their psi and their flamer ammo are there, they're awesome. Working as a team, they can really hold off a horde, and they can be aggressive and take territory at the same time. So that's what's great about those two as a team.
Scanning for enemy movement. Objective logged.
I move this guy and have him face towards that way, even though he could have rotated to be in a position if anything came out of those tunnels to be an Overwatch. And on Overwatch, I get lucky here. My librarian, he pops those guys off without having them get a chance to hit some melee on my flamer, and they were close to doing that. No doubt, you're gonna have to roast this room. You can't let those guys live. You just can't. The whole room's gotta go. That's a good, satisfying flame. The problem is now he's only got 1 shot left. I think it's kind of foolish to move this librarian as much as I do. I should have saved a few more command points for this guy, more than 1 to hold off that horde.
Ready and holding. Hostile targets ahead. The machine spirits have answered, my friend.
Shit, you hear that? That's... Oh, we used up the 1 command point on the librarian. It's not the guy I wanted to use it up on? Well, let's see.
Weapon jammed.
Jam, jam, jam. Just when you need one.
Squad is broken.
Squad is broken. Squad is broken.
Advance, brothers.
And then they were two. How exactly are we going to do this? Am I going to use my last flame? Yes, I am. Because that's... Now he's a meat sack. He's a useless meat sack. But that was the flame I needed to cast to give myself a break.
Beware.
Maybe in hindsight, what I should have done instead is have the librarian cast his hurricane on where the flamer shot his flame, and have that sort of bottleneck the genestealers up, so that this turn right now the flamer could be firing down the corridor at a more bunched up genestealer pack. That way the other battle brother would have been resurrected last turn, and he can move. He could be moving now instead of not doing anything.
Affirmative. Securing position.
On the flip side, the benefit to doing it the way I did it, or using the flame that turn, is that I didn't use up any psi-points. And I've been able to move my flamer, who needs to survive this round and come out of the teleporter. I've been able to move him further away.
Cleanse the monstrosity.
Clearly the librarian needs to move down this tunnel and be the one leading the pack as aggressively as possible. And of course we're going to use the murderous hurricane on these genestealers, which are trying to give my flamer back rub. But you see how I move it back to catch those two there, and if you don't do that, if the individual very close to my librarian died and I didn't get those two back guys, they could have just ran up. So you got to be careful about that. And you can see that I'm rotating the back Terminator to sort of hold a rear guard action. But I do believe he doesn't even take a single shot down that back tunnel, the way this retreat is on at this point.
Moving.
I do try and undo this turn. You can see me clicking undo even before the animation goes through. And I'll do that even if I take a shot and miss, and I'll do it as well if I take a shot and hit. If I intended to undo, I'll undo, but the game forces you to go through the entire animation. That being said, I'm not sure why it was so critically important that he moves down. Oh, how about that? I am going to put him on Overwatch. I thought I didn't, but I was wrong. He does do Overwatch for one turn with a command point.
Cleanse and burn.
This is like Custard's last stand here. He's taking them all out, getting lots of lucky shots, and in the end, it was totally pointless. Well, except I suppose to survive. But he kills them, and he can't hold this off because he doesn't kill them all, and they pile up and they're right there in his face for next turn.
I will end you. Advance, brothers.
Now I remember it.
Unjamming weapon.
He had no reason to unjam that gun. This guy's gonna Booker T. Washington it all the way to the teleport, get the hell out of there, and then I end up doing the exact same move that I had just done because I realized the librarian needs to hold that corridor. But he will. I get real lucky here. I got to get a 50% chance to stun him and not kill him, because if I kill him, those genestealers will just run in and take my Space Marine in the back, and the game will be over. And the coin flip comes out in my way. I couldn't sound any less excited about that, but that was the thing which did it. And I just gotta roll a few dice here, survive for the round on guard mode, and then I can luckily have enough psi-points left over to freeze their ass one more time. The retreat is on, and any good retreat starts with a little ass freezing. I'll freeze these dominoes all lined up here, and just book it, just run. Look at that, he's not even gonna stay for the last turn. No solidarity. Just leave him there. But hey, he's got enough movement points. They got as close as they're gonna get, and this show's over.
Our brothers live, and your actions bring honor to our chapter.